garbage bag for the soot there that I collected. It flies, drive me crazy. I can't catch it.
And the camera's been wonky, so I'll leave it off. The share screen will still work.
What board or commission were you on before? Tree from before? Oh, so that was before.
It was
When,
when Sue,
7 or 8 years ago?
yeah, it was when I was at the chamber, so it was 2019.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order and first like to welcome our newest member, Molly Bailey.
Thank you.
So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Do you want to make a couple comments on your
I'm good.
experience or?
Well, I have worked all over the bluff in Harbor. I've tromped up and down the bluff. I used to work for Timberwolf Tree Care, who did the initial inventory of the city trees and helped maintain that. And I'm familiar with the vegetation management plan on the bluff and planting and.
She was on tree board like before I was on, like 7 or 8 years ago.
Well, welcome.
And you're an
Thank you.
arborist?
I was an ISA certified arborist at that lapse. But that was, I think I retired from tree work 10 years ago. So and I still had my certification for a couple of years after
You
that.
didn't instantly forget everything, so I think you're gonna.
I did not.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We're delighted you're here.
Thank you.
Then we'll take roll call.
Do you wanna do the rest of the introductions?
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Meet Dana Mulder, yep, I'm vice chair this year.
Carol Winter, chair this year.
Known her forever.
Tom's known me since I was in diapers.
Yeah.
Alma Henry Cruzel.
He's our student
Student.
rep. And then do you know Rachel?
Yes.
Okay.
Usually it's Victor. Usually it's Victor.
Yes.
He talks today. All
And let's welcome Rick Tarchin.
Yes.
right, so Molly Vealing.
Here.
Dana Mulder.
Here.
Carol Leonard. Here. Tom Graham.
Here.
And
And next we've got approval of the minutes from the August 15th meeting. Does anyone have any changes to the minutes?
Like to make a motion to approve?
I'll second.
I,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Board communications, Rachel, do we have any?
not that I'm aware of. Unless there's something on the packet that I missed. I know.
I'd like to point out, has anybody looked at the paving work on State Street?
Yeah, looks
yes.
It looks nice, and we now have like right of ways that are wide enough to put some trees in, so that's been a little silver lining to me.
Yeah, we had good weather for it too.
Mhm.
For a little rain while they were working on it. Okay, we'll open it up for public comment. Brett,
You get so excited when you have somebody actually attend the meetings.
My name is Rick Darchinsky. I live at 465 State Street. Now, currently, we are almost at the end of a redo of State Street from Summit down to the Bluff. And informal talks with Dana, and some other city workers, we've come to understand that there's no plans right now to put any tree landscape on this street. Previously, we had very narrow parkways that were
18 inches.
about
Yeah.
2 feet wide and couldn't support any trees. But now on both sides of the street, we have 5 to 6 feet of parkway, so it's a great space to plant trees and make the space a little bit nicer. So I don't know what the process would be to try to get the city to put that in. As far as I know, it's not on any of the plans or in the money, but it would add to the streetscape. And after talking to Dana, we tried to find a list of trees, and at this time, we're not able to find it, so we'll keep looking. But we've got some red maples on our property that are very short trees, and I don't know if those are on the list or not. Some other good things would be Bloodgood or Emperor Chinese maples. I would strongly suggest that if we can get trees planted there, oaks not be part of the mix. We've already got a huge squirrel population. And the traffic on that street takes out quite a few, but we don't have the predators to keep them in. It's kind of a nasty way to do it. So, and the other question is, do you get to pick out the trees or do you just order them?
You're welcome to have input. So we have,
Sometimes we don't quite make it. And
no, we're very careful about that. We actually have a right tree, right place. And let me see if I have an extra one in here. Otherwise, I can send it to you. Probably we have printed everything I can find. Okay. This might be it right here. So when you see this, there's a variety of different size trees, and then the column that you want to look for is where it says suitable for street tree. So what that means is that we have checked it against salt tolerance, compacted soil, some of the problems that come from being in that type of environment. So this is yours. And right now, so I can tell you that I did speak to Victor, and yes, we can talk about it at tree board maybe next month. He just wanted to wait until like all the work was done. So next month, if you want to come.
okay,
And I think he said we got 3 of our street trees in from our initial street tree program last year. We had 10 committed for, so maybe we divert them from some of the spots that we had thought we wanted to start getting some going on state streets.
okay. Well, thank you.
It's
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Can't stay for the rest of the meeting. I've got some appointments, but thank you for hearing me out.
we appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
Anytime.
I'm sorry there's not more people here for you.
Yeah.
You're doing great work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comments online?
Annie, everybody can. Does anyone online have a public comment?
That would be me, Nancy Dewan. I'm at my campsite in Lake Leelanau, attending your meeting, which I always do when I can, and I'm just here to listen. I appreciate all that you're doing.
And Nancy,
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I believe Nancy's been involved with getting a tree board going over in Petoskey. If I remember incorrectly.
Yep.
Okay, next thing we have is the Relief Community Tree Planting Project.
No, Victor had, he had old business. So did he have a memo on that?
He did, yeah.
On the old business.
On old business.
Yep.
Go ahead, Rachel.
I'll just read the paragraph. Relief, only plants trees on public property and they only accept projects with a minimum of 10 trees. The city would have to contribute 50% of the cost of trees. Currently, the only park that can see enough trees for a relief planting project is Harborview Park. Other locations suggested, it could be street tree plantings. As mentioned, relief representatives have previously stated that they prefer not to do street tree plantings for a variety of reasons. The first being that they prefer not to do road plantings. The second being that they prefer not to bounce around from location to location. However, this does not mean it's impossible. For example, they replaced a couple of crab trees on Zoll Street when we did our Jean Jardine project. They planted several trees in a row along the spillway. The application requires a site plan, just a sketch of where the trees would go, and relief will review each application on the case-by-case basis. Given the ice storm, they may be even more open to planting right-of-way trees. Victor recommends the tree board look for a park neighborhood that needs a minimum of 10 trees. We are currently planting several trees on Lake Street this fall in accordance with our street tree planting plan. I've attached the city's street tree plan to generate ideas. You want to bring that up?
I can add a little to that. Having to do with the park, Rachel and I have had a discussion about trees at that park.
And
At Harborview.
let's clarify Harborview though,
Yeah.
because not everyone knows it by
Do you know where
Harborview.
that is? Harborview's right next to the pickleball court.
Coffin, Harborview, a lot of people, call it. but-
Her mother arranged that part.
Not
Raised
sheep,
money
I
to
know.
give it to
And I got married at that park.
And
So you wrecked it, huh?
I did. I wrecked it long before that.
anyways, so you probably all know that a number of the big old pine trees came out. I guess it was this spring, you know, they were all kind of aged out, half dead, you know, not healthy. So what's that?
At Harborview, right next to pickleball court.
And also along the,
Yeah.
between the park and the parking lot. So, we had Arbor Day there a couple of years ago and we planted a couple trees. So, the options would be, to do a relief project there. And then Rachel and I had talked too about, we'd like a couple more trees, for some shade at the skate park. And, I think there's some other opportunities at Cosequat and elsewhere up in that whole complex. So that's one option. The other option is, we have a number of trees in the budget that were supposed to continue along 119 where those trees were planted in front of Bay Bluffs after the big pines came down. And, you know, and looking more at it, it's super steep. And then do we really want to plant trees where it's going to block the view from the park or the pickleball courts or the skate park?
No.
Thank you. Right answer. So anyways, I sent a note to Victor and I don't know if he's had time to think about it yet, but I was proposing, and maybe this should talk to the board about it first, but I would rather get nice nursery stock trees to plant in the park than relief trees. The relief trees tend to be what's called park grade and sometimes not the greatest aesthetically, and they also tend to be very small. So I would like to propose that we table this until Victor can get back to us on whether we do have those trees available to use. Does that sound good?
Yeah, the 7 of the 10 that were originally going to be planted.
No, that's a totally different thing. These were trees that were in the budget for this 119.
Oh,
That's a different group, and I'll bet you there are probably 10 still that are in the budget. Or were in the budget.
That sounds good.
Okay.
What kind of trees do you want to see on State Street? Obviously, it would end up being fine.
Well, this is another thing that I'd like to talk to Victor about is, I wish they could have buried the wires at the same time, but I think the wires usually don't go under the street, right? They go in, as Rick called it, the parkway. I love that as a name. Like, maybe that's how we should think of the right of ways, their little mini parkways. Anyways, so right now there's wires on both sides. So they'd have to be something smaller.
They want something to grow though.
Yeah. So My first choice would be to have the city bury those wires so that we actually could put in some nice shade trees, but, you know, let's put that on for next month, maybe and then state street trees, and then also, electric burying, question mark.
Didn't realize that it didn't have trees in that plan, it's kind of an oversight.
Well, one of the guys that was there told Rick that there were trees in the plant, so,
Probably was at one time.
yeah. So I'm not sure.
Just double check, it would have all that
Victor would know.
information.
Yeah,
And even if there are a couple in the plan, doesn't mean you can't add more.
For the main reason for narrowing the streets, so they could have trees, right?
I think it was also for runoff, so there'd be less stormwater runoff. But yeah, I would love to put some trees there. It'd be very, very good.
All right, so we'll table the relief community project.
And then a note for Victor, if we could talk more about this idea of using the 119 trees.
Right, any other questions or comments on that?
Would be nice to find a relief project, you know, it's just a really nice community feel good
Yep.
thing. So it would be for next spring anyways. But maybe once next month we figure out if we will have it here or not, then if not, we can find another spot.
The vegetation management plan, city-owned bluff properties is the next topic.
You wanna pull that up? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so DPW investigated the cost to trim trees / vegetation on the westernmost city-owned property on East Bluff. There's a photo on the next page we can go to. I also have it pulled up on Emmett County GIS that Dan requested. The purpose was to clear up branches and scrub trees in accordance with the city's vegetation management policy to enhance public views without negatively impacting the bluff. Approximate cost is $3,000 to $5,000. There are other heavily wooded city-owned properties as well, such as the Boardwalk Viewing Platform and section of West Bluff that currently has 2 active trimming permits on it. The Bluff Stability Committee report, we have a link to that, contains best practices for tree trimming removal. More standards are in the city vegetation management policy, section E or F, depending on the property location. The tree board should recommend which areas the city should focus on for trimming. Cost estimates would be provided to council for consideration for the 2026 budget. I'll bring up it.
Just a point here, where it says, section of West Bluff that has 2 active trimming permits in it. I think that's supposed to be East Bluff.
Yeah,
Dry drain.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, okay. Mind if we just jump right?
No,
on
that's
that?
fine. I'm trying to compare this to the one I've got in the packet.
Yes, so, it just started and I've been chipping away at this little by little, you know, like some verbiage to go with this vegetation management plan. So,
Okay,
what I
covered and
identified,
handed out that you gave.
yeah, if you go to page 2,
Okay.
or no, page 3. One of the sections of this, we had said maybe 3 sections, one about street trees, one about, trees on the bluff. And another one about trees on city property, city parks, that kind of thing. So the first one we're working on is bluff properties. So let's see, Melly, would you like to point out these properties or I can do it?
I'll let you do it.
Okay. Let's start over on the east side. Rachel, we need to go over just a little bit.
right. The east or the west.
Yeah. This way. Other way.
Otherwise, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, so you want all of Hoyt?
Yeah, and then over by the stadium.
Gotcha, okay. Sorry, there you
So
go.
if we start with the east of State Street properties. The first one is this little funny triangle here where State Street comes up the hill and goes north, and then East Bluff, and West Bluff, come on from there.
Yeah,
So
and that's
it's-
the picture that's in,
Yes,
packet.
yeah,
That's
so
the
it's,
packet.
steep, not as steep as it was. And I guess, so Victor, it looks like had identified $3,000 to $5,000 to trim it, so I guess it must go beyond what's open right now, or, you know, what is, has no trees right now.
Yeah,
So,
because right now it's all dirt, or at
it's
least
dirt, but I think it may
portion,
go.
and so it would be east of that. Would
Right,
still have.
That's what I think, I'm not that familiar with where it starts and stops. So we're supposed to prioritize these, so that's one. And I guess another thing that's, I think would be interesting to look at is, do we want plantings here other than just lawn? You know, it could be something simple like, you know, low fragrance sumac, or just something for some interest,
I think there should be.
yeah. I think it helps
But
stabilize
low
that.
enough so that it doesn't
Yes, exactly.
interrupt the view going up or around.
That one, that triangle, okay.
And is it also the little rectangle adjacent to it? No,
You wanna click
okay,
on that one?
no, it's not.
That's,
Never mind.
yeah, that's a different number.
That might be Clark's.
176,104. That's a
Clark's
separate
that one?
parcel.
That's Clark.
Oh, that's the city.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's one, so let's just identify them first, maybe. Then the boardwalk, Rachel, if you would move that,
Yeah,
that side of it.
now you want the boardwalk?
Yep, so, it's the old Spring Street right away,
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
so it's this piece plus this piece. And so we've talked about this once already, that, myself being in the minority, that people felt it was better just to leave no trees there, but, you know, it would be still nice to do something other than just the scrub that's growing up below it. Then the shade drain,
mhm.
and I think that encompasses, well, all of this.
Where are we?
Is it 203, 104?
Here's Maine.
203,086.
Yeah, that one.
So this is one where right now there are two, open trimming contracts, so, I think we've decided, let's just leave that for now. And Victor can let us know more about when those run out. And then, the other one that I identified, and if anybody knows of anything else, Rachel, if you could just, go a little further east. Yep, and, yep, so this is a little bit more,
One more.
yeah.
That tourist park?
Yeah, Tourist Park is up here, and then, I didn't know it went all the way down to Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Yeah.
We had cut, when Al was the mayor,
Mhm.
he called Timberwolf and said, I'm tired of looking at trees, I wanna see a view. So we worked off.
I think that's originally where that CIP project came, the observation deck, because we could trim all the way down and we removed that from the CIP list. 2021 or 22. I'm assuming that's where that came from, that's where it would go.
So I think this would be like a priority, and I had like, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, DPW went through. And a Tourist Park did cut some of the low stuff, so you actually could see out.
Mhm.
So that's the whole 100-003.
Yes. Yep,
And that goes all the way. Pretty decent length.
well, yep, and then this is city property too. Okay, then if we wanna go west, Rachel, without going through every single piece of property, I think,
How far? More?
where are we?
You want all of West Bluff?
Nope, this is
Oh,
good.
okay.
So, oh no, keep going, yes, sorry. Yeah, west of State Street, all the way to Olmos. That's just.
There
you go.
Yeah, yeah. So I think these are owned by the properties north of there. I think this is actually owned by somebody else, but if you wanted to click on it, and then this is. That's the city, and could you see what the one is too?
200.
That's also city.
That's
So-
more.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
It's the morgue.
The morgue, yeah.
The morgue?
It will forever be the morgue, yeah.
That's where you put dead bodies in.
I did not.
That's not very.
That's why we
The
drive.
story attached to that someday, Tom.
We got a great story when I hear one about Cross Village.
Not right now.
Good story though.
So I guess, you know, I don't know what you guys think. So, is anybody aware, so this is the part that we used to think was owned by the city. Until like maybe, I don't know, it was like 5 years ago or something like that, they realized it was owned by.
Southern, is that what you said?
Yeah. So do you want me to write down 200,079?
Yeah.
Point of interest, is
Um,
that what you're saying?
I don't know, I can't see, can you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 079,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just writing some picture notes.
And the morgue is at 080.
Yeah.
To the left of that.
I can't read it. I can't read the number.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That little, the triangle next to the big.
From what-
Rectangle.
I understood when we were working was that regardless of who owns 15102, Kathy Bissell had taken over and owned the northern portion of this right of way.
Mhm.
Because we were never allowed to touch that. And I don't know if she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, she does.
Yeah.
So she owns the whole right of way, okay.
What a resource, I'm telling you. All right, should we tackle it like
So what
east
is-
side, then west side, and then
So
decide
what
what
is
the-
the proper, what's in that property right now, Dana?
which
There's
property?
the west bluff one, the 200 dash.
Nothing.
And
It's
there's
just
no
swampy,
swale
Really-
side.
Really steep.
Oh, yeah,
there's
no,
some
they're trees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's, okay.
Kind of swampy. if I
It's,
remember
yeah, the
right.
bottom
Yeah.
part is very
Water,
swampy.
a lot of-
And standing water there too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially along the road.
There's actually cattails up the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so should we open discussion on what we think the priorities should be for the city?
And is this for the next year or two?
Yeah, I
How
guess
do
at
we
some
want it?
point we would do a phasing plan, so. Who would like to open the bidding?
I like the triangle on the east bluff. With the new construction of the state roads, because it doesn't seem to me it would be a lot of work. Once it was determined what vegetation will go in there, but I think it would be nice to have some low shrubs or.
So should we like assign 1, 2, 3 priorities, one being the most important?
Sure.
yeah,
Okay, let's
That
go
one?
around and what do you think that one is?
I think that's a one. I agree with Carol. One thing to keep in mind is that the very point of the triangle is a lot easier to work with and where the triangle gets wider because it is quite thick in there and it is quite steep.
Yeah.
So I think the closer we are to the intersection, the better.
What do you think, Tim? Do you think that'd be nice to do something with that little piece there?
I think so. I like the property up the West Hill. They kind of got cedar trees where they kind of trim them back. I think that looks nice. But on top of the bluff there, I definitely help those homeowners if you cut some trees there or trim them up.
Those big oaks up there are really scraggly. At the top of the triangle along
Okay,
East Bluff.
Scraggly Oaks. I guess that would be a matter of, identifying, are there some nice trees that we'd like to keep? No,
From my recollection, no, there are lilac bushes in there that are nice. But
Lilac bush out.
yeah, well, and they don't grow that high. They're really pretty. There were complaints. We had to pull a couple trees uphill for a view that we had a permit for years ago. And it really is, there's a lot of dogwood, a lot of amelancher, a lot of just low scrubby and a lot of poison ivy and broken trees in there. So I don't think the middle section is going to be a big deal, and it looks awful in the winter because the way the permit was, you cut it and you lie it across to catch everything coming down.
So
So
when you say the middle section, Molly, is that just to the east of the triangle
Yes.
estate?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much on where the numbers are.
Oh, okay, so that's 176,
really thick in there.
104. Right, here.
176, 124.
Oh, yeah, that's the triangle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't really comment.
So
on
is the next one, so we're looking only at that long triangle?
Right.
Okay,
Because the 176, 104 is privately owned.
okay, all right.
Might be helpful to go to the aerial view, Rachel.
Computer is playing games.
Should be under layers. Yeah,
When it pops up, yeah. I'd be happy to go through it. Oh, layer list. There we go.
well, so at some point,
Here it is.
There you go. That'll be a little more helpful.
I guess we determine if there are any trees that are worth saving. Part of the whole research into bluff stability had to do with plants with varying depths of roots, where the trees anchor it deep, and then you've got, you know, things anchoring the other. So it'd be great if there were any that we thought were worth saving.
And that's why I was saying more than just grasses, because grasses just are the surface. And then if you have something like bearberry or something that grows deeper, that would be.
So, okay, so Henry, what do you think about that little triangle? Do you like the idea of and do something there?
Or 1, 2, or 3, what would you rank as far as importance?
I would say 1. I mean, I think it's kind of there's a lot of people that go by that area. So
Yeah, it's high visibility.
And while it's already torn up.
Yes. Good point.
So one,
Deanna, what do you?
I would be willing to work on a little landscape plan with any input from anybody that wants to
Great.
give input.
And Dana, do
That
you
could
rate
be
that, do you rate
simple.
that a 1?
I rate that a 1, 2.
Okay, so everybody thinks that's right. Okay. How about the Spring Street right away? That's where the boardwalk platform is.
That's a tough one.
I would open it as saying, I think it's important. But whether we want to do anything with trees there, I don't know. I think it would be really nice to do something to clean up.
I know we in the
Carnage.
past had sort of flattened out the dogwoods that were growing up in front of the platform, and thinned those out a lot. And we took down, I think about 12 ash right on the edge of the parking lot that were dead. You really only get it when you're looking straight because either side is privately owned and the trees have been topped and there's not much you can do. So yes, I think reviewing it is important. I don't know
Is
that,
there much we can do other than maybe, again, we just want to look at doing some, you know, nice native plantings, you know, below the viewing stand that would stay low.
yeah,
Should we put it as a, what do you
You
think?
want a 2?
2?
What do you think, Henry?
I think 2 makes sense.
Tom?
That's fine.
2's fine. Okay. The shade drain, given that there are the 2 pending permits right now, I think probably a 3. Just till we know what the resolution is there.
Yeah, 3 / on hold.
mhm.
And then maybe if we can ask Victor, when are the leases up or the permits?
Anybody have other comments on that? The area below the tourist park. It's a big property.
I don't think it's as important as others, but I think it,
Don't pay a parking lot for the football stadium.
yeah, guys eat lunch there, I guess, but I don't think it's a big deal to clean out that understory stuff so you can like what they did a couple years ago, so would we say 2 on that one?
Yeah,
3, 2 or
I'd say
3?
2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And to clean it up at least.
Yeah. Okay.
And,
Oh, I had one more thought about east. Does the city own any property by Judd Hill?
I think just the hillside.
So maybe whatever we do at that little corner.
Mhm.
well, I got back up now.
Well, and that's what I'm thinking of when you were talking about low plantings on on East Bluff and State. I think that area of Judd Hill looks really nice, where it's just low, it's,
Did plantings go in after they finished the road? I guess I don't know.
I think so.
I don't know, I always focus on the wall. Because it just looks so much better than it.
I know,
Oh, I think I looked at that. I think that triangle might be Mahalik.
Mahalik.
Yep,
okay.
but there is, I guess,
So the city just has the right of way.
just has the right way. Okay.
Please. So what do you think there, Dan, on the right of way?
I guess I'd have to go look at it again.
It's not beautiful. I stare out of the wall.
Except at the top.
It's just weedy, I guess, is the way the wall was put in. The wall looks nice, and on top of it, it's just weeds.
So it's between the wall and the curb, it's weeds.
I don't know if it's between,
But above the wall or below?
yeah, we don't think it would be city.
Why don't we make that a homework item? Maybe all of these, just to go look at them, right?
Mhm.
We'll add one to east of State that is Judd Hill,
Right away on Judd Hill
or shall we call it the Parkway?
Parkway. It's new term.
Tickled me.
And then west of State, Tom, what do you think? On the west bluff?
Over that swampy piece, I can see plants and trees along the south side of the road, it makes sense.
So what would you rate that? 1, 2, or 3?
One,
1?
200, that one, we're next to the morgue.
Yes,
Okay, 1.
the big one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's very many trees along there right now, is there? Do you know, Molly?
not on the top, there's not.
Not on the top because all those oaks died out. And I know I took a couple of them down, which was actually really fun. That's gonna be huge. Not along the top. The worst offenders along the top are in the other part that's in the plat that the people below own.
Yeah.
There are dead birches, there are dead trees in there that if they come down will really enhance. But the trees down below really in the swampy land aren't big enough to do much. That part of the view, as it were, is, I'm not sure you can do a whole lot with. But it's definitely worth looking at it, and I think it is important. Those people on West Bluff have tried to get that cleaned up for 15 years.
Would we put that as a 1?
A
then?
1.
I would,
Okay. And then I would like to introduce another concept, and that is the right of way along West Bluff.
Are we talking like up here?
So I feel like, all the scrubby stuff grows up, and that almost is what is impeding your view more than the trees. So maybe we get on a program where that gets
We
brush
used to
hogged
do
every
that,
year or
yeah.
something, yeah.
So that's the right of way right next to 119?
Yeah, like
Mhm.
all the way along there.
Yep.
Yep. So it's all lawn, on the other side of State Street, it's all manicured lawn. And I don't know if the city would really be into doing that, but
parts of it are manicured, parts of it are gardens that the people north of West Bluff tend to. There's some Miss Kim lilacs there that Dr. Kendi
Yeah,
takes
yeah,
care
yeah.
of. There's a garden in front of Kathy Trumbull's house on that side. Sandy Ruggles, the same thing, further west. So I don't know how that would work, but I think if it were consistent, it would be really nice.
And I think just a periodic every few years of going through and just getting all the stuff that's grown
There's a
up out.
ton of honeysuckle that's grown up in there.
Honeysuckle and, yeah. I don't know, I think that would be a number one, just to get that cleaned
Would be
out,
cleared
so
out.
the views are opened up for everybody.
One thing you run into is that when you get the honeysuckle in the right of way, then the honeysuckle that's growing on the bluff is still there and it's as tall as what was on the right of way.
Mhm.
It's definitely worth looking at. It may not be as cut and dried as it sounds.
Yep.
Henry, do you have any thoughts on that?
Else.
So the two,
So everything is important, really.
but the two priorities would be the triangle east of State Street and then the west of State Street on the western side of west end of 119 would be the two priorities.
So that would be cleanup,
Yep.
clean up on the bigger property, and then just also clean up really in the right of way.
And then looking at planting, low plantings on the triangle formed by East Bluff and State.
Mhm.
And that's might be something, I don't know what all the watershed council's into, but that might be something that somebody like that would be interested in helping with.
Mhm.
Because it would help with the runoff.
Budget wise, that could be good. Or there's a grant out there somewhere. Good idea.
Any other comments on those priorities? Everybody okay with those?
I'm fine.
There were some, you guys can read this at your leisure, but I've read a number of things now about like why the bluff is somewhat unstable, and it's just all the different layers in there. When the layer with the gravel and sand fills up with water and it can't hold anymore, there's only one thing that can happen, and that's it slumps down the hill.
Only some I've seen it when too much water got run over.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Hasn't been from the brook falling, water washing it.
Yep. Yeah, there was a case at Harrison
I can
Street.
show you pictures of the East Hill with the telephone poles, the bottom. You can look right under the bottom, it just hangs in water. That's flooded.
Yeah, so maybe a curb and gutter system is better than anything we can do with the bluff. I don't know. Do we want to somehow incorporate the bluff stability report into the tree management plan? So this would just be for city property, not for private property. Unless we had it as an appendix, maybe to be helpful to homeowners that own bluff property. Seems like it'd be nice
I
to
don't see any reason.
have
not
it, have a
to. Right,
home,
include it.
home somewhere in
I
a
agree.
city document, yeah.
Mhm.
So they kind of go hand in hand.
Mhm.
I guess that'd be another thing at some point is whenever somebody does get out on the city property where there's hills, like, is there evidence of erosion to where there should be some like low growing stuff put in there? Okay, so would we say our priorities then for 2026 would be what Carol just said, the triangle,
And then the west of
the westerly stuff,
Mhm.
okay. And then maybe for like capital, would this be capital improvement or would this be,
Only if it comes in 10 grand or up. Close to town.
I'm sure it would. So then 2027, we have our number twos, which
Number
would be,
two would be the abandoned Spring Street I have, and then the area below Tourist Park.
and then 2028 is Shader.
Yep.
then just thinking, trying to think about how to get this document completed and adopted. So if we think of the three parts, the bluff properties as being one, natural properties, then street trees, we kind of got the street tree plan, and maybe somehow that gets worked into vegetation management. And then parks, I think we've decided we're going to do that on an as needed basis. Like when a master plan is finished, then we would come to tree board and talk about what we'd like to see. Then couple other parts that I think would be good to have in this, and I don't know, you know, whether this would be welcome, but I think it would be great if we could start identifying, like, I had this idea where the city gets divided up into different sectors. And every third year, they go through and see what trees need to come out, what trees need to be trimmed. So every third year, the trees are being addressed unless there's something that comes up in the meantime.
Like a nice storm.
Like, I think Miss Arborist person.
I think part of that would be difficult because of the tree inventory, which identifies trees that are most at risk. And if they're all over in different sectors, then what do? Do you ignore the trees in sector 1 because it's sector 2's year?
Yeah, I think it seems like one part of this plan would be catch-up stuff, right? Like
Right.
stuff that hasn't happened. It needs to happen.
Like ice storm trimming with the city.
Mhm.
We never contracted with anyone, to my knowledge, to come in and trim any trees after the ice storm,
Mhm.
which saved the city a
Ton of
bundle.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's not a bad idea. There are definitely some trees even within parks that are,
Well, and
could be
then,
trimmed.
yeah, the nice thing about that too is that then people say, why haven't you gotten to this? Well, it's this sector's year, and if everybody knows that there is a plan, that would help.
And as long as they know too, that they could help us identify trees that if they're in sector 3, and that's not gonna be done for 3 years, but it's a dangerous tree. You know, then the neighbors could notify the city that even though they're not scheduled that
Mhm.
year, that here's some issues that need to be addressed.
Do we want to take a stab at figuring out what the sectors might be? And maybe it's based on how many, like roughly just based on an aerial photo, like how many trees are in different parts? Like, do you think every 3 years to monitor trees is good?
Yeah, because if something happens before that,
You'll get a phone call or,
yeah, it's. And if they're assessed properly, you can tell.
then you have Glen Drive. What if we did like above the bluff, below the bluff, east and west estate? Does that make sense?
So that's 4 sectors
Oh. Maybe below the bluff,
is 1, and then
above the
east
bluff,
and west.
east and
of-
west estate.
Yeah.
I like that idea because it at least brings some structure to how the trees are gonna be reviewed by dividing it into thirds.
Yeah.
Anything, Tom, what do you think?
That makes sense.
So below the block, above the block, east and west. To make it into 3 sectors, right?
And so then I would see there's 3 main activities, and one is monitoring, assessing, like, you know, DPW drives around and says, okay, here's the ones that need to come down, here's the ones that need to be trimmed. Then part 2 would be removing, trimming, whatever. And then part 3, maybe somehow we work, do we need replacement trees or,
That'd likely be a CIP.
yeah.
I'm sorry, would you say?
That would
Rachel?
probably for sure be a CIP, if I were to guess, every 3 years. You have to contract out. can't assume the electric department will get everything.
I had this vision of having full-time arborist and staff, that's all. But that'd be good. So monitor, assess. Trim, treat.
Monitor, assess, and implement.
Yep. And then new trees. Like
How does that work with, how will that interface with the donated tree program? Will it
yeah,
work well with that? Because as I understand it, when people donate the money, they don't designate where it's going. They just donate it
Yeah.
to the city and the city makes it. Right?
so that would be, so a part of this is I think once this plan is set up with the 3 sectors, and I'll try and do a graphic for that or something for the next meeting. That then somehow money has to be put to it, like man hours, money, I think, and probably it's labor that's gonna be the greater part of any budget for this plan.
What is the budget right now at the city for tree maintenance?
0.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I don't think it's 0, but it's,
Zero. I mean, for instance, we talked about, I'm just gonna use the ice storm as an example, Kiwanis is a really good example. It's a disc golf course, people use it every day. And we've had quotes to have them come in and tree trim and very expensive,
Yeah.
very expensive. Especially with the hills. So when you do this, and I don't know, I just know when you've talked to tree companies, like after the ice storm, and we kind of like sorted it out and decided which way we were gonna go. We based it off where people are walking, like what's a hazard first, you know, and then you go from there. But you get through the walkways and where you have trails and where you're inviting people, and you take care of that. And then you take whatever you have left over potentially. But I just know from a park standpoint, I'm most worried about where there's a bleacher, where there's people walking around, where there's a building or a tree, if it were to fall, would actually injure someone or infrastructure. So,
so if we go back to page 1 of this. I wrote a little bit about the background of how we got to where we are.
I'm really sorry, I have to scoot out.
Scoot out.
Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, Molly.
thank you, welcome, thank you for
Yep.
welcoming me.
So let's see. At the foundation of the 2025 vegetation management plan is the belief that the city should manage its own property and that the city should be proactive in managing the city's urban forest. Rather than waiting for residents to call and get mad because nobody can come out and look at things. So here's what I put down as some goals. So this might be good to talk about to get pinned down for whatever document there is. So why don't we go through them one by one, and if everybody agrees, we'll just say, let's keep it. So it should benefit the city as a whole.
Absolutely. I agree with that.
It should support the goals of the city's master plan.
Mhm.
And I haven't looked yet to where that might intersect. It should be developed with input from residents. Just think we get in trouble whenever something happens, and people haven't had a chance to say something. And
So
probably
how would
nobody would come, right?
Right, I was gonna say, how would you develop that?
Maybe we would,
A survey or?
it could be, it could be a survey, or it could be like an open house for coffee and learn about the new tree plan or something. And then if people want to make comments, you can. But we'll leave that open as how we'll do it, right? Identify potential costs such as manpower, training, and also savings, such as maybe we don't have to rely on consultants as much. I think we need to be able to demonstrate that there's clear benefits over what we're doing right now. And this was what kind of jogged me on this one, is prioritize health and safety of the public. So as
Yeah,
you were
To your
saying,
point, Rich.
yeah,
Mhm.
as you were saying, that's gotta be the top thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so that one maybe goes up.
Goes up the list.
I guess the argument is trimming a tree and spending the money is cheaper than a lawsuit or fixing infrastructure
Mhm.
in the long term. So
That's a really good way to put it.
better to trim them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then, that the plan should address views and then also aesthetics.
I think all of those are great.
Well thought out.
Anything else we want to, put in there? Any other ideas, Henry?
Not that I can think of.
I'll try and get this cleaned up and then get it in the packet so people can look at it ahead of time.
For the November meeting.
Yeah,
Well, I think these are great ideas, and I like
It's
the
a
idea
start.
of dividing the city into three.
yeah, I think so too. Then, I don't know how much detail we need to have in here. Do we need to have have somebody write a section, here's how to properly trim a tree? Or do we assume that that's or like a training schedule, or, like, I don't,
Training schedule for who?
like DPW guys? I don't know.
Some of them are trained already on it, aren't they?
Yeah, they can use like a chain, like Nate can use a chainsaw. But like, and
There's
that's not to
pruning and
say that,
there's
but yeah,
pruning,
but like
right.
pruning, I think only a couple of them are trained in. And they usually do that in the spring and fall. Right now he's doing it actually as we speak.
That's probably about enough discussion in this today.
Any other comments on this?
No, I enjoyed.
Thank you. Thank you.
Done. Talk about it forever, but I'd like to.
I know, let's just wrap it up here.
All right, and then the tree canopy article, Dana was kind enough to put one together. And I think it's submitted for next week, right, for the,
I sent it to Victor, I don't know if,
I'm sure he did.
yeah,
and that one's on the invasive species.
We have enough autumn olive already,
that's featured in there.
isn't it?
Yep.
Terrible. Man,
Which one is?
autumn olive, you know, what that is?
Mm.
Should know it.
Kind of pretty.
Everywhere. Here's your way to plant it, because the berries for the birds, now it's just taking over everywhere.
think I
The
need
woods
it.
and the
Yeah,
fields,
yep.
and it's just everywhere.
Yep, I do know which.
So we did stray a little bit off trees on this. Maybe this is our first step into, we can do a little more than just trees, but like, do you know what phragmites are that grow and take over from the cattails? And then it wrecks like the beds where fish lay eggs and all that stuff. So there's that. Garlic mustard is another one which poisons the soil for
Other plants.
other plants.
Runs if you get it on when the sun's out,
Does it?
runs for weeks.
Garlic mustard?
These guys, a mustard, a
Yeah.
mustard plant.
That must be it, yeah. So,
Yeah. Any new business that anyone wants to bring up? Okay, then we can adjourn.
and then
Thank you.
for next month, if you wanna let Victor